Hey programming classmates, Professor Smith, and anyone else who happens to fall across this video. My name is Amber Kuhn. This exciting video is about my Python programming major project, the Worship Lyric Generator. To start off, near the beginning of this course, we were asked to come up with a programming project that could be used by family, church, etc. After a little bit of research and talking with people from my church and from my Friday night Bible studies, I noticed the unnecessarily long process it takes for selecting songs and finding lyrics for the worship. I decided on a project that would aid in this time-consuming process. This is where the Worship Lyric Generator began.
The main purpose of this program is to allow the user to randomly select songs with lyrics based on the genre and number of songs the user picks. For ease of decision, the user can display the lyrics and change the individual songs in the list. Songs are then saved to a text file which the user can print out or easily copy and paste into a PowerPoint. The user can also access the database and delete or view past entries. Before I even started on the pseudocode for this program, I knew I would need to look up a ton of syntax knowledge I didn't already have. I also knew I would need to learn how to use tree view in tkinter in order to display and edit the information from my database. During the actual writing of my program, I looked up questions related to my program way more than I expected. I started writing my pseudocode and got pretty far before I realized I really didn't know how this would look as a program. So I decided to jump in with 2 feet and an outline of what I wanted my program to do, plus the GUI drawing and my proposal. Actually, I relied mostly on my GUI drawing to know what to do next, which, looking back on it now, might not have been the most intelligent way to go about this, even though it's pretty detailed. For my database, I decided to use 3 tables: event table, song selection. In the event table, there would be an event ID, an event date, a description, and a file name. In the song table, which holds all the songs that I want to pull from, it has, I believe, about 40, no, not 40, 24, 23 songs. In my event table, it holds the event date and the ID, which is automatically generated by the database, and the file name, which holds all of the lyrics automatically generated by the user or by the program. The user puts in the file name and the date and the description, and it is saved to the event table. In the song selection, it just looks like a bunch of numbers, but the event ID that correlates with the event ID in the event table is how it figures out which songs are from the song table. So if I go to the song selection, event ID with 1 has 5 songs, and because you see that there's 5 ones here, the songs that go with it are 23, 21, 17, 18, and 16. Although the way that I made this was a little bit unorthodox, a little bit without pseudocode, but more with an outline and the GUI and my proposal, I still had a goal in mind and I knew what I wanted to get out of this. And along the way, I decided to add a few things that would make the user experience more enjoyable. For example, I added a clear button that would delete or clear the songs from there. I have a dictionary where the songs are stored, but clear it from the views just in case the user wanted to start over and didn't want to have that there. I also, the display lyric was not part of my original plan, and the database display where they can edit the database by deleting or opening past events. But I had time, right? Now that I've kept the final product from you, here it is, the Mr. GUI, the Worship Lyric Generator. Well, here's the program first. This is like half of it. I collapsed most of the functions, but that's all of it. I'll run it here. It's on my other screen. Here we go. Okay. So here is my Worship Lyric Generator. I also really enjoyed working with the colors and figuring out like how they all work and all the different colors in tkinter. So first you can select like Christian rock or gospel music or hymn and select the amount of songs you want to have displayed. Generate songs, and it will generate them right here in the selected songs box. And here's that clear song I had here. Clear songs, generate songs, and there they are again. And they're randomly generated every time. Now I only have about 10 songs of each genre, so it's not very wide variety of songs, but it's That's what. And then if I wanted to show lyrics, I have the lyrics over here. This was a little complicated to make since you can't actually make a scrolling label box. So you had to make like a canvas and then add it to the canvas and all this other crazy stuff. But I figured that out, and there's to show lyrics. I can change a specific song. So I have, oh, that's weird. I have 1 through 4. I can change number 4. I can say change selected song, and it changes it in here. And then I can click the back, which is for some reason collapsed. I have select songs or save selected songs. And when I click this, I can, let's call it and I can put in a short description. I kept this short and small so that it wouldn't take up too much space. And then a random date. Let's just pick today's date. In this, I wanted it so that people could have multiple different events for the same date. That way they didn't have to have a separate date. And then here I have file saved. Voila, it's saved as Amber test4.txt. Nice, click OK, go back, and then I can show the entries in the database, which pops up over here. But here we go. We have 4 different entries, and it gives the event ID. So if I delete this first one, I can say delete event. It asks, are you sure you want to delete this entry? And I say yes. And it's deleted. It's deleted off of all platforms. It deletes the TXT file. You can never find it again, unfortunately, but that's how it works. And I can exit the window. I can open it again. And if it's on a different one, I have this closed database. Back here, we go back, and if I want to open the file, the text opens here. We can see that it's here, and it's all visible. There you go. That's my worship lyric generator. What would I do differently if I were to start over? Although I do not want to start over on this project, if I had to, I would, number one, have all of this experience behind me, so I'd know that this is how you make a scrolling label box. I know that you can use buttons. Oh yeah, if you click a button and you haven't selected anything, it also shows an error. But so it would be a lot easier to do this. I would probably want to write a better pseudocode before I start the program, just because that would help me visualize and maybe take less time. I think altogether this took me. I'm also sure there's other ways to do different parts of my program, so I would maybe look into that a little bit more. I probably wouldn't want to change it because it's pretty solid the way it is. Learning more about the database in Tinker would have helped a lot. If I were to start over, I would probably take a more in-depth look at the database and Tinker. If I were to go ahead and continue creating or continue adding on to this program, I would probably try to connect it to Lyric Genius, and that way I could get a plethora of the songs and the lyrics and everything, and that would enhance the capabilities of my program. I would have way more than 23 songs to select from, way more genres maybe, and that would help the pastors or have more songs. I also thought about connecting to like a PowerPoint and automatically putting the lyrics in there, but it seemed overly complicated for the time I had to finish this. So, but figuring out a way to do that would be really awesome, and being able to automatically do that so that if you were like doing, we call it blackout worship at my Friday night Bible studies, so that way you could have it automatically up there, and voila, you don't have to do barely any work, press of a few buttons, playing around with the database maybe. But I decided not to do it because I don't think I had time to figure that out. And figuring out a way to open the text file on the computer instead of just displaying the lyrics in the GUI would also enhance the user's experience, and it would help them like be able to maybe copy and paste directly from the database here. Like if I were to click on this and then say, oh yeah, open the file, but it would actually open the file where you can copy and paste, because in here we are unable to copy and paste. But with that said, the program will effectively help my Friday night Bible study even without the possible updates, which I may make in the future.